Alright, and we are back with Shovel Knight. So, we have that going on. I was gonna say, I know that before we started, James, you were commenting about how Shovel Knight's green now.
Yes.
And the reason for that, oh, you see, it just doubled up.
I can't spoil what's coming up, though. It's a big, huge, big, drastic thing.
Basically, we're playing with the amiibo, and right now, why we're jumping around is I'm showing the stuff that I missed in Plague Knight stage that I could have gotten, but I had to play through the game a second time. So this is a second playthrough, and while I was doing that, I recorded some things that I missed. So both times that I happened to go through and miss stuff, I'm showing that. So this is where you're actually supposed to get the phase locket, or is it the alchemy coin? Either way, this is where you're. Thank you. Okay, this is where you're actually supposed to get the alchemy coin. It works pretty well here, as you just saw, and now we changed again. Basically, with the amiibo, you can change how Shovel Knight's color is, as well as a couple other things. And this was for Treasure Knight, so just showing off a couple of extra little things that I missed here and there. So,
okay,
nothing too serious, but I apparently decided to keep this in at least once, and then this was while I was playing off the gamepad as opposed to the TV, so that's why I'm pausing for it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think I actually get this one because it doesn't actually come to me, but I try my hardest because coin capture, if you charge it up and then let go, you can get the coins, but I do not get to eat my own fish. And I make a sad face.
Looks like you have plenty already.
Yes, that is true.
It's avarice is a sin, you know.
I was gonna say, Shovel Knight likes his money. That's his bling bling. Or something. And here we have the re-fight with Black Knight, so...
Like her design.
What was that?
I like her design.
Oh, the Enchantress? She does evil dances? You better watch out, or she'll make a big tasty stew. And she's coming for you.
Alright, I'm befriending you.
So watch out. Sorry, I had...
You didn't even sing it, man.
I haven't... You guys know why I haven't watched My Little Pony. I won't get into that here. But I used to be such a big My Little Pony fan. I just haven't been able to watch it lately, so I don't remember most of the songs, honestly.
Okay. It's... I'm trying to think of a specific issue that could have come up, but I also didn't watch past season 2.
I can't even remember what I did watch. I just...
Like, what do you mean specifically? Like, why I'm not watching it, or like why I haven't been watching it, or... That is personal problems that happens to deal with, you know, something that happens to be easy.
It's the community. The community is... Yeah.
It's the community.
Oh, yeah, the community. That's why I stopped.
It's not the community, because I used to consider myself a brony. It's the Rule 34. That's why.
Ah, yeah.
So, that's why I'm trying to detoxify myself from that part of the community and just go to the pure part, honestly, so... But anyways, I was going to say, after we happen to get to the next level, I know that we have an interesting discussion coming up. Because the Nintendo Switch reveal was 2 days ago now, and we had more information on it yesterday as well, so... Oh hey, Tinker Knight. Tinker Knight's stage is interesting. I do want to comment about the boss, but there's not too much that goes on for the first part of the level. It's honestly pretty easy in the beginning. So, I was gonna say, if we want to start talking about the Switch, I was gonna say we can, because I know that I'm personally excited for it, but not everybody here I wouldn't say unexcited. Oh, there is one more thing I want to talk about before we get to the Switch. While you're using the amiibo, you have access to some relics that you don't have access to as Shovel Knight. That one was one of them. You can use that propeller dagger to go up in the air as opposed to fly forward, so... Anyways, shall we talk about the Nintendo Switch unveil? I personally was very excited for it, mainly just because I think it's pretty innovative, so... And they have some games... I like the games that Nintendo typically puts out. It's Splatoon 2.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 is kind of a big deal.
The question is, do you think that this will this console will basically undo, you know, I don't want to say damage per se, but the differences, the difficulties that Nintendo has had over the past years.
Nintendo's honestly always had that since Super Nintendo, though. The N64 didn't sell the greatest either. I kind of forgot about that till now.
It's
like the Wii, since the Super Nintendo was the first really good Nintendo console that sold really well.
But did it really? Was it acclaimed because of the? Was it acclaimed? Would you say it was acclaimed properly, or was it just because that a lot of the people, it sold 100 million units?
Oh, I would say it had good. The Wii, I would definitely say it had good games. It's just, it was more quality over. It was quality over quantity, I'd say.
There was definitely a lot of low quality quantity.
Oh, I agree. I was going to say, don't get me wrong. No, I wouldn't say the Wii U. The Wii more so. There was definitely a lot of shovelware.
Yeah, I meant the Wii.
I was going to say, trust me, the Wii was shovelware heaven. That I don't disagree. However, the games that
I'll be coherent eventually.
That's fine. We know you just woke up. I was gonna say, I know. Trust me. I was gonna say, I know the shovelware on Wii. I also know that the Wii did happen to have a couple of really good games. It's just that those came out rarely, I would suppose. Like every couple months. And it was typically Nintendo that made them. There's a couple exceptions to that, I suppose. Pandora's Tower being one of them. And I've heard the last story is good, and I haven't, but I haven't finished it, so I don't know. I know that for the Wii U, I don't particularly like the titles for it.
Yeah, I personally had a grand total of like 3 to 4 games for the Wii U. Because I bought it just before I left to go join the Franciscans.
Mm-hmm.
So I just never had a reason to get any more because we weren't allowed to take those with us.
Okay.
I could take my $2,500 computer, but the multiplayer local console-ish. Nope.
They let you take the computer.
Yeah.
I mean, the computer can check email, although the console can too. But I mean, that
well, not that particular one. So.
No, the Wii U can check email.
So.
Yeah, it has a web browser.
Yeah. Works pretty decently.
It's more that my computer is something I could turtle myself in my room and ignore the fact that there's a community just down the stairs. The Wii U, it's like there's only one TV we have access to in this entire house.
Mm-hmm. So we could be we could be a community with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the Wii U, I don't think I had any local multiplayer stuff for it, but I probably could have gotten some.
I was gonna say Smash, Mario Kart 8, Runbow, a couple others. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, still kind of strange, but anyways, Templars, because I know there was a couple other things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, my question was regard to a lot of you are considering purchasing on day one, and why was that?
For me, I just don't have money. I suppose if I had money, I would, and mainly because I know that Nintendo's going to release games I like. That's typically what it is for me. They're exclusives they come out with, I enjoy. So that's pretty much the reason why for me.
Splatoon, man.
Splatoon 2, Xenoblade. I like the Xenoblade series, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff for us to talk about, apparently, that I didn't realize. Like with Xenoblade Chronicles, I realized it, but with Xenogears, I did not realize it. Because we've been talking to one of our friends about Xenogears, and apparently there's a lot of... Apparently it gets really, really anti-Christian really fast.
I know there's a lot of Xenos, but was Xenogears the one with the Gnosticism, or is that Xeno...
Saga?
Oh yeah, it's Xenosaga.
It wasn't okay, pardon me, Xenosaga, not Xenogears. My apologies.
There's just too many, there's so many Tales of, there's so many Xenos.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with Tales of, you typically can know which one it is, mainly just because they at least change an entire word instead of half a word.
Yeah.
Well, my main concern is that why does Nintendo think that they are able to charge for multiplayer at this point? That's
probably to pay for servers like Sony and Microsoft have done. I was gonna say, trust me, I was the first one to complain about it, but trust me, Templar, I have been babied so hard by not having to pay for the Wii U or the Wii's. But the fact is, they probably have to pay for servers. Now, I know what you're going to bring up next, and that part is pretty dumb, and I agree with it. So go ahead and bring up what you're going to bring up next.
Well, you could have preempted my argument. You're being too nice right here.
I could have,
Oops.
but I don't think many... yeah, I was going to say, that was me being dumb. I don't think many people are going to defend Nintendo on this one, so go ahead.
So my question is, why, for example, the first thing that immediately pops to mind is how Nintendo thinks that they can charge money to not even have the online functionality of things like voice chat, for example, and parental controls, those kind of things, be not even native to the console, that those are a separate app rather than simply having them natively embedded on the console like Xbox Live or PlayStation Network does.
I was gonna say I didn't see that for voice control. For the parental controls, I can actually understand that we have access to it anywhere.
Yeah, it's
voice chat is on a cell phone or tablet. It is not available. It is not available in the actual console itself. You have to use a cell phone for that.
I didn't notice that either, and honestly, I'm kind of fine with that too, partially. At least we have... Then again, the reason I might be fine with that is because at least we freaking have voice chat finally. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. So that might be why. Because you have to remember, we haven't had voice chat for any game. We kind of had it for Mario Kart 8, not really. We kind of had it for Smash Brothers, not really. So...
I don't even think the voice chat for Smash Brothers would be that good, because about 90% of it would just be salt.
Well, the thing, I mean,
that's online gaming, though.
It'd be 100%. It'd be 100% would be salt, by the way, John. Mainly because you can't talk during the matches, only in between matches. So it's when people are the pissed off the most. So 100% salt.
I just question that decision, considering what they're competing against. You know, what they're competing against and what value proposition they're trying to do. And I think what you were originally intending for me to argue was the fact that one of the ways that Nintendo's planning on creating value for their consumers is with their answer to Xbox Live's Games with Gold and PlayStation Network's Instant Game Collection, is with their whole initiative of you can basically rent. It allows you a 1-month rental of a Super Nintendo game that has online multiplayer, I believe, which you can only rent and which you forfeit to Nintendo after a month without, so which you would have to pay an additional fee for in order to continue to play.
Which I do find that to be kind of dumb. I think they'll. And
even then, it's not like it's a current gen that you want to keep for a month.
Yeah, I mean it depends on the. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. They're older games, which I'm not saying they're bad, but I don't think it's worth a 1-month rental and then you give up. I don't know. I feel like you could get them on the cheap side somewhat.
But why give it up though?
Yeah, that's probably.
Why do you have to give it up? For example, when Sony released Journey for the PlayStation on part of PS Plus, that is a 2-hour game. Admittedly, there's some replay value, but that is a 2-hour game. And why, if this is going to be a 2-hour game, then why aren't you turning in your digital license back into that? That's Nintendo's logic. You should turn the digital license back into us, unless you're willing to pay more for it.
I think they'll eventually change that. To be quite honest, I could be wrong, but that's just what I think. Oh, excuse me.
Well, they changed their copyright thing, right? When Nintendo videos are being copyright striked.
Well, we can only hope at this point.
I actually am perfectly fine with the Nintendo stuff for that, mainly because I kind of get where they're coming from.
I suppose.
Now, what do you mean you can get where they're coming from? What are you referring to specifically?
Oh, have you not heard about the Nintendo Creators Program? Because this is going to send you on another rant entirely if you haven't.
Well, bear in mind what I'm studying at law school right now, so...
The Nintendo Creators Program is basically due to the fact... Hold on, I actually want to talk about this boss real quickly. I want to talk about this part of the boss. Because I was going to say... Do you remember how we picked up that Metal Gear inside of here?
Yeah.
Do you guys all remember the Mega Man boss, Metal Man?
Wow.
He got it in one hit.
He does have 2 forms, however. So the first form...
I was about to say, yeah.
I was going to say, the first form, you can Metal Man him. The second form, He looks pretty intimidating, and it's actually really kind of cool. So, what were we talking about the Switch again? I kind of forgot.
Nintendo's Creators Program.
Yeah,
The Nintendo
That's right.
Creators Program.
Nintendo Creators Program, and basically that is that you can make Let's Plays, but they just want a certain profit since they made the game, so they own the rights to the games themselves. They understand that you can make them with it, so if that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it
No,
very well.
I understand what you're referring to. I've heard of this program before. My major issue with that is why are they going out of their way to protect their IP so much when the majority of the value of the IP and the utility of their IP is derived from people actually playing the game rather than experiencing it. If anything, Sony should be the one most mad at this kind of at Let's Plays because a lot of their games are indeed story based. So my question is, what does Nintendo especially feel the need to protect the value of its IP when its IP is best utilized when people are actually playing them rather than experiencing them via watching? For example, what we're doing right here, I'm sure Yacht Club is very grateful at the fact that the Shovel Knight looks very cool to me. It's a game I never would have considered thinking about purchasing because of the fact that I can see people playing it and realize that because this game has been hyped as something like, oh no, it's in another impossible style platformer.
Right.
But I look and it's it's something I think that would be really cool to be able to master that challenge of, rather than simply saying I've never that's just not a game for me, I don't care, rather than watching someone play it. And let's plays can provide a valuable service. I understand the value of them wanting to protect their IP, but I don't understand why they have put up with the backlash and what hope they can get the idea that because it only reinforces the idea that people are not covering Nintendo games. People are not interested in Nintendo because of the fact that there's so little internet hype around them, because Nintendo stifles that by having its creators program and a lot of
there seems to be a lot of Nintendo hype actually. Then again,
at this current time, yes, because they're releasing a new console. But
and Splatoon 2. But yeah,
I'd have to admit, I don't know, I find myself kind of casual in watching Let's Plays and footage from other people and stuff, and I hardly, if ever see any Nintendo content unless it's from Game Grumps.
I do want to... Oh, I see it all the time. But I do want to clarify one thing on this boss. If you don't suck at it, and I think you more than 50% of your health, he actually does have a different line of dialogue. I got it my first time through, but as I said, I had to dump that stuff, unfortunately, so you gotta see my bad playthrough against that boss, so... I actually see a lot of Nintendo stuff, but then again, that may be because of what I'm looking for. So, I would be curious how, like, Awesome Games Done Quick does that. That is something I'd be curious about. Also, we have a new animation we can use. You can make Shovel Knight look like he's dying.
Does it affect anything, or it's literally just for fun?
It looks like it doesn't affect anything, but that looks like it did. And I thought it did at first because he was like, "Oh crap, did he just die?"